Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Bethel Evangelical Free Church Hanley. I'm Pastor Gervais Charmley. This is another historic Shropshire church. This is St. Lucia's Upton Magna. Now, this is an interesting building because it has Anglo-Saxon origins, but also because it was massively restored in the Victorian era by G.E. Street. It's unusual, of course, for the Anglo-Saxons to build churches out of stone. Normally they used wood. But around here, there's a really good source of great big blocks of stone, namely the Roman city at Wroxeter. And so that was exploited, shall we say, used. No one was living there at the time, after all. And it was used as a quarry of building materials, which were used to build the first church here, probably in the 9th century. It's then rebuilt by the Normans not long after the conquest. And it's altered and grows over time to its present form, which, as I say, was restored in the Victorian era by G.E. Street, one of the great Gothic revival architects. So, having said which, let us have a look around this historic building. We start then in the usual location at the west end, and of course the chancel arch is Victorian, as is the north aisle. We have here the font, which rather handily bears the date 1628, and probably is of that date, although the base is probably more recent. There are Victorian wall paintings. Here we have the baptism of Christ, and it's important not to miss the contents of the tower, because here we have this very nice cavalier gentleman, and this is Walter Barker of Haumont, and here he is in full armour. I say cavalier, he may of course have been a Puritan from what we know, but here he is in his lovely period armour, long hair and moustache and beard, all very much of course the period. So the memorial was taken from the chancel when the restoration took place. The Victorians felt that they didn't want this gentleman there, so they moved him. We move then into the aisle. You can see here Victorian wall painting. At some point it's all been painted over, but some of it has now been exposed again. The painted wooden pulpit, that's very G.E. Street. Well, he did like his stone pulpits too. You can see the low stone screen with it, then it's ironwork above. And all of this is done, obviously this church is very, very old. It had very much this character of the period before the Victorian era, and then the Victorian era, 1860, G.E. Street just goes completely into, we make this a posh Victorian building. We have here, worthy is the lamb that was slain, the adoration of the lamb. And this is the old parish chest, dug out chest. You can see it's made of a single piece of wood that's just been dug out. And we have there the war memorial. So, typical Victorian benches. Rather nice hymn board up there. That's about 1900. The organ dates from 1860 and was made in Whitechapel in Southwark in London. And it was a very nice G.E. Street case, and in this case those really are the organ pipes. They're not dummies. And the one thing about this Victorian wall painting is it's quite expensive to maintain, and so to save cost, to save money, very often what they did was they painted it over. And there we have typical G.E. Street reredos, and then there's the east window. All this interior you can see again traces of the Victorian wall paintings. And a triple lancet window there. So that is the interior. Painted door there, painted doorway. And that's the interior then here at St. Lucia's Upton Magna in Shropshire. So we'll have a look outside next. So we're now up outside here at Upton Magna. You can see behind me the tower here, which is 15th century, and then the nave and chancel, and they are both Norman. As we saw inside, there is a north aisle's been added by the Victorians, and the current porch is also Victorian. So this is the basic exterior. You can see it's typical English parish church there, and so we'll have a look around the outside and see what we can see. So just a brief look there at Upton Magna. A shorter video this week, largely owing to the demands of time and space, but I hope you've enjoyed this video, and may God bless you and keep you until next time.